So here is my tree peonies. It's not very big at the moment because it was planted 5 years ago from a little root. And this year it's finally flowered. Unfortunately now the flower's gone. However, we have this beautiful seed pot over here. And I think, if I'm correct, this is a tree peony called Shunkoju, which is the Japanese species, a beautiful pink, pastel pink petals with dark pink in the center, which I will show in the photo as well as my painting. But what I love about tree peonies is that not only the flower, which was really big, was bigger than my hand, but also the beautiful foliage, as you can see. And I love the pink tips on each leaf, on the tips. And I enjoy painting that as well. So when I finish painting the leaves, the last part, it's kind of adding the cherry on top of the cake, is to use the red line to outline the leaves.
That's one of the additions of tree peonies in the garden, is that because, yes, as you said, your one is quite short at the moment, but in general, you know, a tree peony can get to sort of 7-8 feet tall. I would have thought maximum, but it still gives you, it's almost like an old tree peony is almost like a sculptural bonsai, the way it has its form, and then it has those big lush leaves even after the flowers. And as you've just hinted at, the flowers, it's a good indicator of a tree peony, is they tend to be very, very big, plate-like flowers, and a lot flatter sort of a flower. I mean, okay, you can have singles or you can have multiple petaled ones, but they tend to be quite big, flat, open flowers. But it is just the sheer size of them.
Yeah, it was massive, and I have been waiting for 5 years to see that flower. Once it's flowered, I was over the moon, and it was so beautiful.
And the seed pod you've got in front of you there, not all tree peonies will do it, but they will, if you're very, very, very patient, you can grow a new tree peony from that if it does produce buds. Not all of them will produce seeds, but you'll find in the autumn, if they're still firm, you'll have black, round, quite hard seeds in there. And the key with most peonies to get them to germinate is that you have to be very patient. You have to put them in the ground and put them in a very cold spot where they can get lots of frost on them. And then you may get some germinate in the first season, but they're more than likely that it'll be the second season sitting outside in the cold that they will germinate. So if you don't get them to germinate the first year, don't throw them out. Be patient for another year.
That's very interesting, because I got a lot of people ask me the question, peonies are so beautiful, it must be difficult to look after them. They put them in, they cover the plants in plastic bags during winter. Actually, they're very easy to look after. They love the cold. And your point on be patient and let it in the cold is very good advice.
Yeah, they're a bit of a hidden beauty, the peonies, in that they're actually a lot tougher than people think they are. They actually thrive in the cold. They need cold. It's actually the cold and the frost that are hitting those buds at the top of the plant that actually activate the flowers for the next year. So don't coddle them, don't cover them, just let nature do its thing, and you'll be rewarded with blooms. It's something quite common is that when you see those buds, just when they're a bit tighter than the bud you just showed, and you'll see ants quite often on the tops, and people worry and get concerned about ants being on there. Ants are fine. What's going on is that as that bud is developing, getting ready to open, it starts to exude. Basically, it's a sort of nectar, sugary nectar, out of the top of the bud. and the ants know it's there, so they go out there looking for food. So they don't harm the bud at all. It's just they're going for the sugar that's oozing out of the top of the bud. And it's actually a good way to know that your peonies are getting close to opening, because you will start to see bees coming and tapping on the top of the bud. And that's the only way I can describe it, and that's what it looks like, is the bees will come along and they'll tap the top of the bud, and they'll move on it because they can sense that there's sugar in there. So yeah, if you see ants, don't panic. Ants are just doing what they're supposed to do. So
that's really good advice, because that's another question a lot of people ask me about.
Yeah, so they're fine. They're just doing their thing. So which is good. It's a good sign that you've got a healthy garden if you've got ants and bees and all sorts of other bugs. The ecosystem's probably about right. So.